Hey, wanna watch me play Metroid Prime Remastered? Dude, I frickin' love the opening to Metroid Prime. Not even just, like, the remake or the original, just like that little, like, scrinkly sound. You can even hear it now. And it sounds like there's, like, something crawling in your ear. Bro, it's so good. And then you just cut into this. This is a whole vibe, right? Before I really get into this playthrough, though, I did just want to say I am pretty far into the game. I think I'm about to get the gravity suit, which isn't really a spoiler. But if you don't want any of the game spoiled, please do not watch anymore. I mostly wanted to make this video just so that I can gush a little bit and talk about this phenomenal title. Not just Metroid Prime, but also how phenomenal the remaster is. So, if you don't want anything spoiled for you, you know, go do something else, I guess, and come back later. But if you don't care about spoilers and you just want to hear some nerd gush about one of his favorite games, then without further ado, let's get into it. There she is, Samus Aran, our girl. So, my personal history with Metroid is somewhat confusing. I originally, oh, come on, there you go. I had never played a Metroid game before Super Metroid. And I first played Super Metroid on my Switch with the NSO. I didn't really grow up with a Nintendo console other than a Wii, but I never had an online internet connection for the Wii. And even then, I really only played like Wii Sports and like some Pokemon games. Like, I didn't get into the Wii as much as most people. I guess most like Nintendo fans would have, right? Ooh, we got some bad boys here. There we go. I hate those guys, man. I hate fighting the jetpack dudes. But yeah, so I didn't really get into Nintendo stuff with the Wii back then, and even to this day, I'm still more of a Xbox bro. The Xbox is my favorite console, and I was also way into Call of Duty back in the day, you know, back when Call of Duty was actually, like, good. You know, it treated its fans with some level of respect. So, you know, didn't really play too much of the Wii, which I really regret. There's a lot of Wii games that I wish I still had and that I had played more of. But that's beside the point. So I tried Super Metroid on my Switch. I think it was probably like mid-2021, I want to say. How are you not dead? There we go. I love the reflection of Samus's face in this game. That's one thing about it that I really like. I don't know, it gives me like it was a cool like detail in the original, and I really like it that it came back in the remake. Obviously, you really couldn't do a Prime remake without it, but yeah, so I tried Super Metroid. And I didn't really like it, honestly. But I kind of... I've attributed that to a couple things. The game being kind of, dated, I guess. It felt very dated to me, like it was hard to control and stuff. I liked the graphics and, like, the art style. Like, I dug that. I did, like, grow up with a Game Boy and stuff like that. So like I was used to like the pixelated graphics. That wasn't a problem, but having to aim with a D-pad and like using the shoulder buttons to like angle the trajectory, and it was just weird, man. I also got lost a lot, which, come to find out, is actually a pretty common thing with Metroid titles, or Metroidvanias in general. But, you know, for like a first impression, I was just like not feeling it. I was not having a good time. So I put the game down, but I was intrigued, right? Like, I knew there were other games in the series, and I thought maybe if I could try one of the newer ones that I might like it more. Well, fast forward, and obviously we got a newer one in the form of Metroid Dread, which dropped, I think it was October 2021? That dropped, and I wasn't particularly excited for it, but I was excited to try out a Metroid game that was modern and newer, and would allow me to have 360-degree aiming with a joystick and not a D-pad and like shoulder buttons. I picked up Dread, absolutely loved it. It's absolutely phenomenal game. Anybody who has played it, you know. If you know, you know. Bruh, let me up. Ow! Why am I so... Oh, is it because of you? Go ahead, open your mouth. Talk shit again. I dare you. Do it. That's what I thought. Anyway, so yeah, I played through Dread. Absolutely loved it. I'm sure I will make a video on it someday. I'll probably do a playthrough of it on the channel. Maybe, hopefully, around the time Metroid 6 gets announced. But, you know, we'll see. But after playing through Dread, I kind of had Metroid fever, and I was like, okay, I need to play another game like this. Oh, hold up. Y'all know what that is. It's a gravity suit. Let's grab it. I said let's... There we go. Yo, look at that. It's purple now. And blue. The blue lights always look really cool. Gravity suit acquired. Yes, sir. You are right. Movement in liquid environments is no longer hindered. And I think I can actually see underwater now, too, which is weird. I don't know why the gravity suit makes a difference in that, but either way, I had some Metroid fever after I played Dread, and I really wanted to play a new one. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to track down a copy of Fusion. I didn't really want to try Super Metroid just yet, so I kind of decided that the next game I really wanted to play was Prime. And it took me a while to actually get a copy of Prime, but I did. Some time ago, I don't even know exactly how long ago it was, to be totally honest with y'all. But yeah, so, oh my god, fuck these things, dude. Stupid. Hate those fucking robots, man. Anyway, like I've been trying to say, absolutely... I wanted to play Prime next because obviously being the massive Halo nerd that I am, I was like, okay, first-person shooter, sci-fi, why not? It was right up my alley. And so it took me a while, but I managed to track down a copy of Prime from my GameCube, and I played through it. And I loved it all the way up until the Phazon mines, which we may or may not get to in this video. Depends how long I can talk for. And I also found the controls in the original to be very frustrating. For those of you that don't know, the game essentially played like you moved back and forth with the left stick, but you also looked left to right with it at the same time. So there was like this really weird kind of movement where like you'd move and then you'd kind of like turn and look, or in order to completely turn like this, you had to stop moving. To free aim, you had to like hold the left trigger, and Samus would put her hand on her cannon like that, and then you couldn't move because you were also aiming with the left stick. So it was like this really weird like control scheme that I got used to eventually, and the GameCube controller seemed kind of made for it, but like it was still just really goofy, and it made like the more difficult sections of the later game all the more difficult because I was not only fighting the space pirates, I was also fighting my controller. And I did almost give up on the game, but I persevered, and not too long after that, well, it was quite a while after that, admittedly, but I mean, look, we got the remaster. It seemed a lot shorter than it actually was, I think, because part of the reason why I wanted to get my original copy of Prime right away is because rumors of a remaster had been circulating for months. You know, if you've been involved in the Metroid space at all, you've heard rumors of a Prime remastered or a trilogy remaster coming to Switch at some point, and well, finally we got there, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got there, and it is glorious. I don't think we could have got a better remaster, to be fair, unless they somehow included, you know, Prime 1 or 2 and 3, which I do really want to play someday, but I'm gonna kind of hold out and see if they get ported to Switch. You know, I'm not expecting a full-on remaster. I don't know that the other two Prime games will get the same level of remaster as Prime 1, because Prime 1 is, you know, very iconic, not only just as a Metroid game, but like as a game in general. And for good reason. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve praise, but the other two just aren't as talked about as much, so I could see them getting like a simple up-res port to the Switch. But if they were to get full-on remasters like this, I would love to experience the games this way, you know, with dual stick controls and everything, which I know a lot of people have sort of talked about it, but I'm going to talk about it as well. The dual stick controls for this game, just phenomenal. I absolutely love experiencing the game this way, and playing it this way just feels so smooth, man. It feels a lot like I'm playing a Halo game or something, and I like that the lock-on controls are still there. You know, like, so I can still play it like the original Prime, with being able to lock and strafe around enemies and whatnot. But it's not like a crutch, right? Like, I can do some of the more finer aiming just by looking around with the right stick, versus like having to like do the weird stop and turn and free aim stuff that the first game had. I guess I almost just use the lock-on at this point because it's like a habit, you know, after spending so many hours doing it in the original. It's just kind of how I play the game, I guess. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all can agree. Maybe not. I will at some point try it with the hybrid controls, because that's what Wii Trilogy port, that's what it used, and a lot of people said that they really liked that before we got the dual stick controls of this version. Now a lot of people are saying that dual stick is their favorite way to play, and like I said, coming from a background of games like Halo and Call of Duty, this just feels right at home for me. It's made my time with this game much more enjoyable, and obviously having a first playthrough underneath my belt already, you know, and kind of knowing how to do things, that helps too, you know. The game just goes down smooth, you know, like a glass of cold water on a hot day. It just hits. Oh, I see. I did not... Ooh, okay. I'm going to dispose of this guy, and then I'm going to grab that missile expansion. I don't know why I have not seen that until now. But yeah, man. I'm overall loving it. I think that's kind of how most people are feeling about it. Oh, boy, I can't. No! Oh, no! A lot of people are obviously loving it, man. You know, for Nintendo to, like, shadow drop this on our heads and just be like, hey, here it is, enjoy it. And for them to get such a reception too, like I waited some time before I got my copy because I wanted to get it physically, right? Oh my god. I hope you enjoy this footage of me just failing at this very simple morph ball movement because I'm going to be here a while. But I waited until I got a physical copy just because I wanted to have like a second one to put next to my original on my shelf. You know, put the new remastered version, oh my god, next to my original GameCube version. So I didn't buy it digitally. I didn't play it when they shadow dropped it during that Nintendo Direct. I just, I waited, and admittedly, I was kind of nervous that I wouldn't get a copy, because they were like sold out everywhere, man. People were buying them up, and Nintendo has even come out and said that they are working on getting more physical stock out there, because, you know, with Dread and like the wonderful response they got from that game, you know, how critically acclaimed it was and how well it sold, and now the Prime Remaster is critically acclaimed and selling really well. I believe we are on our way to a Metroid renaissance, and I am so happy to say that because I just got on board. Like, I just started playing these games. Like I said, I started with Dread. Well, I didn't start with Dread, but Dread was the first one I complete, and then Prime was the next one. I'm just so happy, man. I love Metroid, and I love this world, and I am going to go through now, and I am going to play all the other games. I even intend on going through Super Metroid at some point, but if you are interested in more Metroid content from me, just because I'm talking about it now, I do plan on doing a playthrough of Fusion. It'll probably be a very similar format to this. I'll just play and casually talk and, you know, cut to important story beats, or, you know, if something funny happens or I'm talking about something, then, you know, like a general Let's Play usually goes. So I hope you sort of look forward to that if you're watching this. I know I'm going to look forward to making it. Fusion has always been that one to me that's been kind of like mystical in a way. I don't know. I like how it looks, and I really want to try it, and I like the story. Like the the almost like pre-Dread story, you know, with the SAX and all that stuff, but that's beside the point. For now, we're here talking about Metroid Prime, specifically the remaster. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say other than it's gorgeous. The twin stick controls are amazing, and I don't know what sort of black magic Retro Studios had to pull to get this game running on the Switch, but I'm so glad that they did. You know, not that anyone should ever make a deal with the devil to get their software running, but shout out to whoever at Retro had to sign that contract for this to work, because, wow, it is phenomenal. And like pretty much every Switch game ever, I enjoy it mostly in handheld. I have not had a Switch for very long. I got it, you know, in like early 2020, when inexplicably we all had to stay inside for a very long amount of time. So the novelty of playing games in handheld hasn't, I guess, worn off on me like it has, or seems to have, a lot of other Nintendo Switch users or content creators. I don't know. I saw Arlo's video talking about the Switch being in its twilight years, and he mentioned in that video that it was, like, not cool. Like, the novelty of playing a game in handheld just wasn't as cool to him anymore, and that made me kind of sad, because I still love it. Playing games in handheld, especially now that they've got Game Boy Advance games, like, playing those in handheld takes me back to being a kid and actually playing on my Game Boy Advanced. Now, if we could just get, you know, the old Pokemon games on there, that would be perfect. That would complete everything. I would be so happy. I know a lot of people would also be very happy. I also missed this jump before because I hit the wrong button for some reason. Don't ask me. But I really want to try and get to like an actual well-lit area so that I can show off. Wait, oh my god, I'm going backwards. Maybe I missed that jump originally because it was like subconsciously my brain was like, hey, doofus, you're supposed to go this way. I was trying to save me from myself. Are those space pirates going to be back in here? Like, are they going to be respawned? Also, I know I've talked about it a lot already, but the dual stick controls have made the platforming in this game so much easier. You know, actually being able to kind of look around at where I'm going. Excuse the fuck out of me. Okay, the other guy's dead. Just being able to look around where you're going and not have to do this weird sort of like floaty jump. It's nice, man. It's so nice. I really hope we get dual stick controls. If the other 2 Prime games come to Switch, I hope we get dual stick controls. And I think we will, for the sole fact that, you know, any game on the Switch has to run in handheld as well. Even if, you know, some ridiculous concessions have to be made in the case of, like, Super Mario Galaxy, where you, like, use the touchscreen as the pointer. Also, if anybody knows any good beam combos for taking down those robots, please tell me. I hate fighting those things, but I'm also too stubborn to look it up myself. Am I going backwards? No. No, I'm not going backwards. Okay. I know I should... I actually kind of need the thermal on now to see this dude. Right. Yeah, I would like to get to, like, a well-lit area so I can properly show off the game's visuals, because holy crap, is it nice. I know a lot of people have been touting it, but I also want to tout. I want to show this game off as best I can. Well, we're about to step outside, finally, even though I'm going to have to fight more jetpack pirates. But yeah, man, look at this. Just listen to the music. Oh my goodness. It's just so gorgeous. Even in the original, like, coming to this area and making my way through Phendrana Drifts, and soon the crashed pirate ship, the Orpheum, just beautiful, man. You know, snow levels, water levels always have been known for their beautiful music. And Prime is no exception to that rule. The Phendrana Drifts and the underwater spaceship. Just, mwah. Chef's kiss, really. And like I said, this isn't even just like a remaster thing. Like, playing through them in the original game was also beautiful. But, I mean, seriously, if you've never played a Metroid game and you are unsure if, like, the series is right for you, it might feel weird starting on, like, the 5th game in a franchise, but seriously, give Dread a shot. Because it's the newest game, well, newest mainline game, and it honestly, you can do like, the game does a pretty good job of bringing you up to speed with where the story's at by the time Dread starts. And then, obviously, if you want to play more, you've got Fusion that just came out on the Game Boy NSO, Game Boy Advanced NSO. You've got Super Metroid, which has been on the SNES NSO app for, you know, years at this point. Metroid 2, Samus Returns, is on the Game Boy app. And the original, like the NES one, is on the NES app. Although I don't know anyone who would really recommend you play the first one. Hopefully, Samus Returns, Zero Mission will eventually come out on the GBA emulator. Yeah, man, hold on, let me go back. I gotta show off this area, because this area is just like... Bro, this is a Nintendo Switch game. This is a Nintendo Switch game, dog. And it looks this good. I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, I'm lost. I'm like, this is so cool. This is so cool. And there's probably a faster way for me to get back to the, Look at that, dude. Look at that. That's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Even now, like, how many hours into the game, like, I've gone through this area so many times, and I still just find it so beautiful. But like I was saying, you know, give Dread a try, and if you're still unsure, you know, try Prime. If you are familiar with, you know, FPS games, then Prime is going to be right up your alley. And it's also kind of a side story. It's the side story, and it's also the first game in the Prime trilogy. You're not really missing anything by starting with this game, because it's, you know, literally a starting point for a side story that I don't think gets brought up in any of the later games. I mean, I'm sure eventually they mention, like, Phazon and whatnot, but Point is, it's not a big deal if you start with this Prime remaster. And at 40 bucks, you know, it's a little bit easier to swallow than buying Dread for 60. And they are two very different games. You know, Prime is a first-person shooter. Well, first-person action game, I guess. It's not... I mean, it is a shooter, but I wouldn't call it a traditional shooter, quite like Call of Duty or Halo or whatever. But seriously, give it a try. And then if you like it, you know, pick up Dread. Try that out. You like that? Try Fusion or Super Metroid. You know, like, at this point in time, the Switch is, I think, actually the best way to play all the mainline Metroid games, because you can play all 5 of them, and then you can play Prime Remastered. And when/if Prime 1 and 2 come to the Switch, then the Switch will be the best way to play, or the most convenient way, maybe, to play all of these, all the Metroid games, so. Ow. Forgot it did that. Now we're just making our way through Magmar Caverns here, which is like the exact opposite of Phendrana, you know. Instead of the snowy kind of caves, we're in the lava caves now. Ooh. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again, but, you know, who really cares? Okay, I'm making this game. I'm making this. I didn't make this game. I'm making this video just to gush. I think this remaster, if nothing else, has helped me, I guess, solidify my opinions on Prime. Because like I said, when I first played it on the GameCube, I was like, okay, this is kind of buns. The controls were kind of goofy, and the Phazon Mines Onward was just frustrating because of the controls. But I think playing this remaster has... Sorry, Grisby. I think playing this remaster has made me realize that I love this game. Because it's very rare for me to replay a game and enjoy it on a second playthrough as much as I did the first time. And playing through Prime this time, I'm enjoying it as much as I did the first time. Take that what you will. It also helps that, obviously, this is a remaster and it has very pretty visuals and a better control scheme and stuff. And being able to play it handheld is just phenomenal, dude. I literally, like, I crawl in bed with my Switch and I play for, like, an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, before I go to bed. And then I have to wake up to my painful existence of working my 9 to 5. But it's okay, because I get to come home and I get to enjoy these games. Okay, does this lead? I should have checked. If this leads to the Talon overworld, I'll go until we get to the underwater ship, just because I would like to showcase that. Oh, this is the Chozo ruins. But wait, I need to be here. I don't know. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep going, and I will come back when I'm at the crashed ship to continue. This is where I need to go. Tower of Light. So I will see you guys in just a minute. I want to get this artifact, and then I will go to the crashed ship. So I will catch you all in a minute. Well, for you guys, it's going to be like instant. For me, it's going to be however long it takes me to get there. So, alright guys, here we are, finally, at the crashed frigate / Orpheum here. Now, one thing I didn't realize when I first played through this game is that this is actually the ship that you begin the game on. There's a whole, like, tutorial section that you play on this, like, spaceship above the planet. I didn't realize that this ship is the crashed, like, remains of that same ship. Does that make sense? But before I go in, I did also want to mention that the game does have a hint feature, which you can see by this little question mark here, that will kind of show you where to go if it's been a while since you've made any, like, real progress. And you can turn this off if you want, but I found it to be a nice little reminder. A good thing, or I guess something that just kind of helps you progress without feeling like the game is holding your hand or it's being too, you know, tutorial-y or whatever. I think that this also reinforces the idea that Prime 1 could be your first Metroid game, because it will it will keep you from getting lost, which is something I really appreciated, and I know a lot of people, myself included, might feel like at some points that they are soft-locked because they just can't progress, especially in some of the older games where you have to bomb the ever-living crap out of the floor to open up the one panel, the one block that you're supposed to fall through to progress. But anyway, this is the Crashed Frigate. Probably my favorite section in the entire game, not only in terms of looks, but also in terms of music, which you will hear very shortly here when we get to the true underwater section. But I mean, that aside, I mean, you also got these dudes, the crabs. Look at them. Look at them scuttling around. Absolute menaces. They're up to no good. Go on. Yeah. You get out of here. Go on. Yeah. All right. I'm going. It just, this part just looks like nothing else in the rest of the game. And then you come here. Listen to this. God, man, it's so pretty. I'm a sucker for like a good piano track in a game or a movie or just in general, man, like a song. Like I'm here for the piano. So when I first entered this area in my first playthrough of the original game, I was quite floored by just how pretty it was. And trust me, when you come here with the Varia suit for the first time, before you get the gravity suit, you can't see anything as well. You can't see anything as well as I am right now, and you can't move as well as I am right now. And I was still floored by the beauty that the crashed... I don't even know what the track is called. Is it just like the Crashed Frigate theme or something? I don't know. You also have these doors that open... Oh, yeah, there. They open automatically. You don't have to shoot them, which is weird for a Metroid game. This is the music is like the sole reason why I wanted to showcase this area in the video. It's just so good. Like I would, oh god. And now paired with these new, you know, wonderful visuals, it just makes it even better. And I suddenly remembered how many? 3, so there's 2 more. I suddenly remembered I had to do this part with the conduits. Also, seeing all of this stuff in higher resolution definitely helps. Instead of playing, you know, I played on an HD TV and I just, you know, hooked my GameCube up to the back of my TV. I didn't play it on like a CRT or anything. I wish I could have, but like seeing all of this stuff in HD with high resolution textures and all that jazz, it just makes the experience even more better. If you're still watching this video to this point and you haven't pulled out your Switch to go pick up this game, what are you even doing, dude? Like, I would honestly go as far to say that either this or Dread is like an essential Switch game. You know, like people talk about Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. I think you put this game or Dread. I don't know which one would be the better Metroid representation, and I will let the comments decide that, but you know, these newer Metroid games are essentials, and they are definitely console sellers, I think, to some people. Oh, not you again. Spam the shit out of them. Also, shout out to that Trav guy for bringing up fast missile tech to me. I never did it on my first playthrough of the original game, but I have been abusing the ever-living crap out of it now. Cordite door. Okay, it's a cordite door. Is that missile? That? I think that's super missile. Yes, I knew I heard you. Aha. I knew I heard you hiding behind the door there, trying to be all slick. See, I am by no means like a pro or even an experienced Metroid player, you know? I've played 2 games to completion, and this is only my 2nd time playing through Prime, so I am certainly not an expert. But this game has stuck in my mind, you know, even just playing the original and now playing the remake. Prime has stuck out in my mind. It's definitely a special game. Am I gonna, you know, sit here and talk to you for hours about why I think it's special? Oh, I definitely could, but I'd just be talking in circles for most of the time, and you'd probably get bored and click off, and I would be sad, but fulfilled, knowing that I got to talk about one of my favorite games of all time. Well, maybe of all time might be stretching it, but one of my favorite games for sure. Oh my god, dude, I am getting fooled by these conduit doors. That is one thing about the Metroid games that I've always admired, though, is that they have a lot of replay value. And in fact, the games, pretty much, I think since the original on the NES, they've always encouraged you to do, like, speed runs to try and improve your time and like, how fast you beat them or how many items you collect. I think traditionally you got to see Samus with, you know, less clothing on. But Dread did a cool thing. I'm not going to spoil it, but Dread did something a little more classy than that. And this game, well, again, I'm not going to really spoil it, but this game is also, you get, let's just say you get a reward, you get different rewards for beating the game in less amount of time, and you get different rewards for collecting all the items and stuff, which I'm kind of wanting to do with this playthrough. Like, I kind of want to try and get 100% items, but I don't know, man. I'm just kind of enjoying the game. Oh, okay, hold on. I can do this. I can do the bomb jump. No, I can't. Is it it's an E-tank? Oh, bro, I gotta get that. I gotta get that. Okay. So jump. You gotta drop the bomb, like, yes, let's go. See, the trick is you gotta drop the bomb or plant the bomb like right before the top of your jump so that you kind of fall down on it as it's blowing up. That's the trick that I'm sure many people know. But fuck you, I'm learning it. I'm getting better. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you haven't tried it, highly recommend picking up this Metroid Prime Remaster. It is a wonderful, wonderful game, and truly an example of a good remake, or I guess a remake done right. We've gotten a couple of those, actually. The Dead Space remake was phenomenal. We got this remake, and then the RE4 remake, which I did play the Chainsaw demo of, is looking to be very good as well. Again, highly recommend picking this game up, giving it a shot, especially if you've never tried a Metroid game before. You might just find that you're a big fan. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself, and I will see you again very soon. Peace.